So this is my second attempt at recording this video because last time there was some stuff in the background that I didn't feel like made the shot look good. So I took care of that, and while this video can be applied to pretty much any kind of 3D printing, I'm more focusing here on props for LARPing. With that being said, roll the intro. Greetings, fellow adventurers. Fred here. Welcome to Larp Saga, the show that explores anything and everything live-action role-playing. Now, when I first started 3D printing, there were not a lot of 3D printable files that could be used as LARP props a lot of the time. That has since changed recently with groups like Props and Beyond, and certain Etsy sellers, among others. But seeing as it's not very big, but it's inching there towards being a bit more accepted in the hobby of LARPing. But I feel for anyone wanting to get started in 3D printing LARP props that I have a few tips to share before that can help you get started and hopefully avoid some of the pitfalls that I ran into in regards to 3D printing in general, but as it applies to LARP props. So without further preamble, let's dive into it. Kicking things off, the first things you will need is a 3D printer and some filament. This here I can't really make out what the brand is, but it's Orange Silky PLA. And they come on these rolls. They ain't cheap. They're like $25 a roll for a full kilogram of filament. But the color I have on here is silky black. Easily one of my favorite colors to work with. But the printer I have here is the Creality Ender 3 V2 Neo. It's easily my favorite 3D printer. Well, I've only worked with Creality printers, and that is because of two reasons. One, it is very easy to come across replacement parts because Creality made the platform open source, so anyone can make replacement parts or upgrades for this baby. I haven't really needed to upgrade much with this model. I'll say for possibly the Bowden tube that feeds the filament into the hot end, but there are a lot of replacement and upgrade parts that you can buy for this printer. The second reason is this printer has a very big knowledge base attached to it. Like a lot of users hang out predominantly on Reddit, and they're fully able to help you figure out what's going on, if not to recommend parts for fixing Creality printers. And quite frankly, the community that is built around this printer on Reddit, it's easily one of my favorite Reddit communities in terms of how helpful they are. So if you're on the Creality Ender 3 V2 subreddit, and you've helped people, possibly me or others, figure out their printers, you're awesome. Well, the 3D printer is the centerpiece of this kind of workshop. A big thing is you're going to need a few tools in order to make the process of 3D printing and assembling your 3D prints a lot easier. And these are some of the tools I recommend in terms of getting started. First off is a pair of snippers. These are relatively easy to get a hold of. Creality Ender 3 V2 and other Creality FDM printers come with these, so they're very easy to get. I have two. This one and the pair from my previous printer still works, but handle's wearing out, so it's good to have extras. And if you know where to look, you can find extra pairs of these in like craft shops or something. And so and you'll need these for clipping the supports off of 3D prints. There are times where models will need supports in order to print properly. These help get those off without a doubt. The second thing I recommend you have is a glue stick. This here is for improving bed adhesion. There will be times where corners or parts of your 3D prints, while it's in the process of printing, will slightly peel off the surface of the print bed. Just a simple, Elmer's washable school glue stick that you can get in a 2 or more pack at Walmart. These do the job wonderfully for bed adhesion. And depending what company you buy 3D print filament from, they'll possibly come with their own glue sticks. So you won't have to worry too much about running out of these. And speaking of glue, when it comes to gluing together or 3D prints, it's always good to have some super glue for that. And I highly recommend the Gorilla Brush and Nozzle Super Glue. This stuff, I frickin' swear by it. As far as when I need to glue parts together for a project. It's worked beautifully, and I always keep a bottle when I'm on hand when I'm working on a project. And last but not least is sandpaper. This is 120 grit sandpaper. I recommend a bit more of a coarser grit sandpaper, but if you can use this to roughen up certain surfaces of your 3D prints, especially the ones that are going to have glue applied and another item glued to that spot, these work wonders for improving the adhesion of the glue. The rougher the surface, the better. Moving on to the actual printing process of 3D printing props, there's only one tip I have as far as when it comes to actually printing things, and that is level your bed. Now, for the longest time, up until a few months ago, leveling the bed had been a nightmare. Straight up simple, a nightmare. But out of frustration, I tried this little trick in order to see if it worked as far as getting the print bed level, and this is what I did. I basically lowered the print bed to its lowest point with all four knobs on the bottom. Once you have the bed to its lowest point, basically you just go through the process that you go through for leveling a print bed. I'll have a link to the video I normally used. It was just added the step of bringing the bed to its lowest point before leveling it again properly. And once I did that, all I had to do was apply a coat of the glue stick I mentioned earlier to the print bed, and it's been working fine ever since. Now, there may be a time I'll need to re-level the print bed, but at least I have that trick in my back pocket should I need to use it. I haven't seen any YouTubers or even Creality themselves recommend and bring the bed down to its lowest point. The reason I don't have any footage to show the print bed leveling process in this regards is because my bed hasn't needed to be leveled since I did this trick, and it has saved me a lot of headache and reduced my profanity levels by a lot. The last two tips are solely optional. The first is have some paints and some paintbrushes on hand. As cool as filament is in a solid color, there may be some projects that you come across that you're gonna want some extra colors on parts that would only normally be printed in one color. It's pretty much a good thing to have in general. Also, you can more easily create some really awesome props. The second piece of advice on the optional side is show your work. This is a piece of advice I learned from reading Adam Savage's book, Every Tool's a Hammer. Utterly love that book. If you love making things, it's an indispensable thing to both be entertained by and learn from. But when it comes to showing your work, what I do is if I have a project I'm exceptionally proud of, I usually post it on my Instagram. You can find the link on my link tree, that's where I usually post pictures of my 3D printed Larp props. Overall, I feel 3D printing of Larp props is 1, criminally underrated, and 2, highly rewarding. Because depending on the situation, you can get some really good props and potentially some really cool quest items made with this method. But that has been some of my advice for anyone wanting to get started in 3D printing Larp props. So if you have given this a try and have any advice on this matter, sound off in the comments down below. And if you are a returning viewer, thanks for stopping by. And if you're new around here, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to keep up to date with everything I'm putting out over here. You can find a link down below to my Linktree page, where you can find my Twitch, where I'm predominantly live streaming Star Wars: The Old Republic at the moment, and you can find my social media, and if you think I've earned it, my Patreon as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the Trail of Adventure.